Hello everyone, hi, Joe here. We're just getting set up, so we'll be with you in just one moment. We're just making sure that everything's visible.
Where have you logged on here, babe?
1 second, guys. Hi Catherine, I can see that you're watching. We're just checking that everything's up and running. If you just bear with us 1 second. Just one moment. Hi. Is it gone?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Was it just a window on your internet?
Yeah. I can't see it on I can't watch it on my thing either. Should be on here. Oh, there, look. Hello, sorry, we're back, we're here. Hi Katrina, hi. We'll just give it a few more minutes, see if anybody else is around. And then we'll so we'll just have to turn the sound off. Otherwise you'll hear me twice again.
There you go. So I'm only able to see comments.
So yeah, we'll just give it a few more minutes for see if anybody else joins us. And I have yeah, there we are. So I'll just turn that off as well. Hello guys. So we've got 3 people with us at the moment. So I have got a helper this evening. So his hand can come in so you can see him. You can't see his face, but there he is. Ant's my helper today. So because I can't see any of the comments still, and that's being weird. Ant's helping me read all your comments and answer any questions. So we are a little bit delayed starting, but we may have some more people join us as we go along. So I think we'll probably get started, and then see if anyone joins us along the way. Katrina says hello.
Hello.
Right then, let's get started. So, the plan today is to show you how to create a box die, the shadow box die, which is one part of the new release, which is the Box Clever card die set. So, this is what the set looks like in its entirety. So lots of bits. So what I thought would be really useful would be to show you how you construct the card, show you how simple it is. You've got everything here that you need to be able to make a great card. And so we'll talk you through that now. Just seeing if I've got an example. We've been preparing as well for Crafting Live in Peterborough on Friday and Saturday, so we've packed a lot of things away. That's perfect. Yeah, so my helper's come in handy already. So here is an example of what your finished box card would look like. Katrina's sending me some information about how to be able to see comments, bless her. You can see here 3 examples using one of the new sets that shows just the dimension that can be achieved using the box card. So I'll just hold that steady for a minute so that you can see the dimension. There you go.
So your phone is going faster than everything else, so just do normal.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
So that's an example. So we'll crack on and I'll show you what we've done. So the largest of the dies cuts this shape here. So to construct your box card, you'll need 2 of these shapes. Now the die itself has a cut along the edge, but also has a score line just here. So you'll probably not be able to see, but there is a score line just here and a score line just here, which creates a tab, and this will help you adhere your two pieces together. So once you've got your two pieces together, one of them you will need to create a window in, and that's so that you can see into your box card and see all the dimension inside. So you will use this particular die. Now this is a really useful die because you can use it for other projects, not just the shadow box card. You'll be able to see here that it's got a stitch line on the outside and on the inside of your aperture. So when you cut this out, you will have a stitch line on the inside, which means that you can use that as a decorative edge as well. So I'll show you what I mean. Just put a little bit of washi tape onto there, and then we'll pop this through the machine. And then you'll be able to see a little window. So just while that's going through, I have already created a background. This was some work that I did previously, and I never made it into a card. So I thought, well, I'll use it for this. It come in perfect for this, because the purpose of the demonstration, sorry for the bang there, is to show you how to construct the actual card itself. So the other techniques that will be as part of the finalised card, we won't be covering those today, but we may well cover them in a future demonstration. So you can see that they've cut out now, and you can see what I was referring to in terms of the stitch lines. So there's a stitch line on the centre there, and then a stitch line on the outside. So that will create our window, and we can save that for a future project. But what I'd like to do now is cut out a background for my card, for my die card. So using the same die, I'm going to pop this onto my pre-coloured background and just adhere that while we've got this out, and then we'll pop this through our machine as well. So sorry while there's a bit more noise while we pop this through the machine. That's going through there, and while that's going through, you can see the elements that you've got already, and that creates the basis of the main part of our card. But in order to be able to see any of the critters that you want inside, or the characters that you want inside, you'll need to create some more ground. So that's what these funny shaped dies are for. So just move that to one side, we don't need that now. So this is our little background piece. And if I just pop that in there, you can see how that fits in there. And pop them to one side. And I've pre-coloured some sand using my distress ink. So I've used the scattered straw, fossilised amber, and a bit of tea dye to create those. And now I'm going to cut out these shapes with the out of those colours. So 1 second. Everything all right, Anne?
Yeah, everything's fine,
okay.
Katrina says the die is great for shaker card windows.
Oh,
also.
That's a good shout, Katrina. Really good shout. Could you all hear Ant then, little voice in the background? I'm not sure how well this microphone picks up noise. So can you hear him rolling around behind me? Okay, so I'm just lining these up and then I'm going to pop these through the machine. Hope this is all making sense so far. Once we've cut all our pieces out, and we'll line them all up, and then you'll be able to see exactly how this is all going to come together. And just explain some of the other pieces that are on here as well. So in order to create your scene, you have a sun and 2 cloud shapes, and then this little shape here fits perfectly within the side of your box card shape. So if you wanted to add some more decoration to the outside, you can. So that's another option, but we're not going to do that today. We're going to keep it simple, or as simple as we can.
Mr. Jason Wilkes has joined us.
Oh, hello, Jason. How are you? Nice of you to join us. Jason we'll be seeing at the weekend. Well, I say weekend, it's Friday and Saturday, which is confusing me no end. At Crafting Live in Peterborough. Jason is of Burton Gertz, so some of you may have heard of them. Right, so just going back to what I'm doing, so I'm keeping you up to date with what's going on. So the shapes that we've just cut out, I should point out as well, also have an embossed line at either end, so that creates a tab at either end. So what we're going to do, we're going to use our bone folder and we're just going to create a fold at either end so that we can then add these to our box card. Everything all right, Anne?
Yeah, all good. Yeah.
Yep.
Just move my chair out of the way.
Yeah, I can feel you hovering in the background. Okay, so now we've got our little folds. You can see how they will now stand upright, and they will then form the flooring for our box card. So we'll pop these to one side and we'll do the folding for the other score lines that we've got. There we go. That one there and that one there. And then do the same again with the windowed piece that we cut. And just do that there. And then if I just show you how they will fit together ultimately, that's your box. So nice and simple. But to construct it and make it into a decorative piece, we just need to add some of our elements. So I'm going to start with our background piece, and I'm just going to use some Cosmic Shimmer glue just to adhere my background panel. And we're just going to pop that on there. Okay. And then I'm going to adhere my window as well. So this tab here, there are 2 ways you can do this. The way to conceal it, if you're using the aperture to create your background here, is to adhere that to the back. If you create a full-size panel, which you could do if you cut another piece of this shape and just cut this end off, then you could pop it on the inside and put your separate background piece on top, and then it would be fully concealed and you wouldn't see any of the tab. But as we've used the aperture, I'm going to put this onto the back of my card so it won't be seen on the inside. And then we'll just close that together so that we make sure that that's all lined up and it does close. So there you go, you can see through that and you can see our background there. Okay, so we will be lining up our background, our little floor pieces like so. So what I need to determine now is where I would like my characters to sit before I fully adhere everything in place. So these are the characters that I've chosen to use as we're creating a little bit of an underwater or a sea themed card. I'm using some pieces from the go on, what's that? Call me on my cell phone. It just escaped me then.
Call me on my cell phone.
That's the one. Thank you. Yes, it went. I don't know where that went. So some of these taller pieces can definitely sit in the background, I think, but I'd quite like my mermaid in the foreground. So I'm thinking that might be a good placement. So let's start adhering some of these pieces in place. So we'll just pop that one on there, and we'll pop our long reeds in the background. Just there. And yes, and then she will sit there, won't she? I think. So this is the usual debate that we have now. If you've watched for the last couple of Facebook Lives that we've done, this is where I do a little bit of umming and ahhing to see whether I'm happy with where I've placed everything. So yeah, I think I'm happy with her just there. Okay. And we're going to adhere our central pieces now. So I'm going to add some glue to one tab and just place that onto this side portion, and make sure that that's straight along the bottom when I fold it. And then I'm going to do the same with this one. And I'm using the glue rather than a tape runner because we are adding quite a bit of dimension, so I don't want that to come loose. And I do find with the tape runners that can sometimes not be quite strong enough to hold everything in place. Once you've put all your effort into making the card, you don't want it to start to fall apart. So yeah, so I do feel that is the best thing to use. So now once we push that together, and I know it's not all fully stuck in place, but you can already see that we're starting to get some depth throughout your box card. So we can add a little bit more decoration and some of our other little creatures in the background. So I think possibly our jellyfish might be a little bit out of place, as he probably should be in water, shouldn't he? So I think we'll add our little crab. And one thing that you could do here as well, which we might have done if we'd had a bit more time, was to add a little bit of acetate to some of your images and have them suspended slightly, using the acetate to elevate them from the back of your flooring. That's a nice little touch. I'm not sure if I explained that very well, but hopefully you know what I'm trying to say. I think today's been a very long day. We've had lots of preparations to do, So yeah, so I've lost the ability to speak, I think. So I just pop a little shell in the background there, and I think we'll have another little shell in the front here. So hopefully you're all bearing with, and it's all making sense. So the final bit that I'm going to do before I stick it all together is, in terms of a sentiment, and there's a couple of options, is that we could stamp a sentiment on the back here, but it would be quite hard to see. And when I was preparing this before, I did have a shaker card in mind. So I've already done a bit of embossing, heat embossing with my sentiment onto acetate. So I think that I might add that to the front of my window. So you don't have to do this. You can leave your window open. That's totally up to you. But as we've got it, I think we might use it. So I'm just going to trim this down, and I'm conscious that I'm probably going to, because I'm just going to wing it, I don't want to cut it too small and not have enough for it to stick in place. Yeah, that should be fine. So we just snip a bit off there. And then I'll just turn that over and line that up. And I think I'll use my tape runner just to touch this. A little fishy in the way. Okay. And just line that up. So it's straight. There we go. And then we've got our sentiment on the front. So all that remains to do now is to close up our box so that it all fits together. So what we're going to do is we're going to flatten out the tabs at the end here. We're going to add some adhesive to those. And then we're going to close that tab onto them, and then they'll be adhered in exactly the right place when we sit our card upright. Yeah, does that make sense? So, and then you know that it's going to close as well. So we'll do the same. Try not to get any glue on our little mermaid, but pop a bit of glue on this tab here, and then just close the other side of your card. Add a little bit of pressure so that fully adheres, and then just maneuver your card either way to make sure that that's stuck down, and then you know that it will fold either way. There we go. So that's the card pretty much complete. You can add some extra embellishments to the front. So I'll just add one of our little fishes to the front there, and then we'll have our little jellyfish out of water up at the top. There we go. And there it is. This is our finished box card. So I hope that all made sense. You can see the dimension from the top there as well.
Katrine says, is it in the Time for Tea design shop now? It was sold out in Create and Craft.
Yes, that's right, Katrine. It did. It sold out on the Create and Craft show. It is available now in the Time for Tea on the Time for Tea website, in the shop. It is limited quantities, because like you say, it did sell really well with Create and Craft. So so it's if you like the effect, and that it's something that you think that you can get a lot of use out of, which I'm sure you would, then yes, it is available now. Grab it while it's still available. I think these make a really impressive card for your mantelpiece. You can use them with all of the Time for Tea Designs images. So I'm using it here with the Call Me On My Shell phone set, but it will work with your bees, it'll work with the toads, it'll work with the toucans, any of the sets that we've got. They're all the right size, they're all perfectly sized to be able to work with the box card. So yeah, please do check that out. We've got other new items on there as well. So there's lots to see. If you are around Peterborough as well, Friday and Saturday, just a quick note about that. We have some new items, some new products for sale that are exclusive to the show. We haven't brought them anywhere before, so we're really excited to share those with you. We've got some really good offers, and we're also having a prize draw every hour for the 2 days, where you have an opportunity to win discounts and prizes from the shop during the event. So I hope that all made sense. I'm sorry if I was a little bit lost for words at points, because I think I'm a little bit frazzled. Ant's just appeared at my side as my trusty assistant to give you a sneak peek of one of the new kits to tempt you. So this is one of the new products that we're bringing to Peterborough, and it's the Time for a Tea Break kit. So the idea behind this kit, the idea behind the kit is that it's something that you can do quickly. So we're all short of time. We love our crafting, but we're always struggling to make the time for it. So the idea behind this is that you have everything that you need to be able to make a card quickly and simply. It has all of the images of pre-stamped and die cut for you. It's got embellishments, it's got pre-die cut patterned paper and cardstock. You've got a card blank in there with an envelope. So everything you need to be able to put together your card. It also has the sentiments as well for you. So if you're new to papercraft and you've come across our channel and you come across the stand at Peterborough, then this is going to be an ideal kit for you. You also will get a Kit Kat. We've prepared with the Kit Kats. So yeah. Oh, here he is. Look, demonstrating the Kit Kats. Beautifully done. We will be bringing these to you at Peterborough.